pretty easy, but make sure you can do it. Make sure you know how to format using, accounting style, comments, comma style, and percent style. Know how to do this percentage type calculation, where you use the absolute reference on the denominator. Quite likely to have something very, on the two exercises we did on chapters 1 and 3, isn't this table pretty familiar? Pretty much the same skills. Something like that, very similar, will be on the exam. If you can do that, at least you'll get half the points on the exam. Make sure you can do.
We have a pie chart?
We're gonna have a chart, yeah. I'm not sure if it'll be a pie or a column or a line chart, but we'll have at least one of those. Right, it won't be anything more than the 3 we did. We did a column chart on the first one, and tonight we did the pie and the,
Sparkline?
maybe spark lines, but here we did an actual line chart with markers. So we could have spark lines, we could have line chart with markers, we could have a column chart or a pie chart. Okay, be one of those. That much I can say. For sure there'll be a chart, for sure there'll be some totals using this quick analysis. For sure there'll be something with an absolute reference like this percentage or like this projection, for sure. Okay? Right there, half the points will be that. You can count on that. Between those charts and the absolute reference and the table, doing the quick analysis tool to do the totals. Okay, so that'll be about half of it. Then the other half will kind of be like, you might want to give a look to chapter 2, where we did these types of functions: the sum, the average, the median, the min, and the max, right? And how to turn something into a table. Insert table, do a table style, that sort of thing. So we may have a table in there too. It's possible. But I think we'll have, one of these. Also that if statement there, pretty easy if statement, how to do conditional formatting. Remember how we did conditional formatting? We used the, what was the conditional formatting? Yeah, we did cells, right? Text that contains was the way to get all the points on the homework. So text that contains, or you could do greater than or equal to, or one of these, less than or equal to. And then how to do bar charts. We did bar charts. They also have color scales and icon sets. Works the same thing as the data charts, you just pick them out. But we'll probably have, I would say, it's likely to have a bar, data bars, and some kind of highlight cells when you hit some condition, for that conditional formatting. And then for the formulas, it'll be limited to sum, average, median, min, max, count if, and an if statement. There won't be anything other than those on the test. That's enough, right, that's enough. Okay? But if you're really going for the A, look at those, because there'll be at least 3/4 of those, if not all of them, on the test. And that's what the Excel will be like. The Excel, so it depends on what you're good at. We have a lot of hundreds on the Excel tests, but some people are good at math, so there's nothing real tricky, but you gotta be able to do those functions and do those charts. If you can do that, you can ace it, especially with 2 tries. The Word, to me, even though a lot of people are more comfortable with Word, to me the Word exam is a little harder than the Excel, but I'm a numbers guy anyway. I was a financial analyst and database administrator in my life, so that number crunching is easy for me, and kind of prose is more challenging. But for other people, it's the other way around, you know, they find numbers more challenging, so it depends on what you're good at. But very doable, there'll be 2, 3 people in the class that get 100, and, you know, the Word, and there'll be 2 or 3 others, probably not the same people that get 100 on the Excel. It's never the same. Not everybody's good at everything, right? So it's never, or I don't think I've ever had one person get 100 on both, but I've had, you know, always a few that get 100 on each of them. So they're very doable exams, especially with 2 tries. And I've given you exactly, you know, the things to emphasize. If you emphasize studying how to insert those objects and format them, position them, you will do well. And if you learn how to use those particular functions and do the charting and do the quick analysis tool, you can nail the Excel. Oh, yeah, one other thing. Remember how we did, and when we did, this was kind of given to us already, these headings, but remember how we did the merge and center? Yeah, and then we used the cell styles to do title and heading, one of the heading styles. So on this one, it was already done for us, but you're quite likely to have to do a merge and center on your table in the test. We won't give it to you, you'll have to do the merge and center and apply the right style. So here you would just do the, you know, highlight from A to G over the table, do a merge and center. And then, what did you do? You went to the cell styles, and this one is a title, and this one here was what cell style? It was heading 1, right? With the line under it. So, and we just did a merge and center across from A to G2 and pressed this merge and center button, not that hard, and then pick the right cell style. Not a big deal. But you'll have to do that on the test. It won't give you the merge and center heading. It'll ask you to do that. And that's kind of what I consider, when I say low-hanging fruit, I mean that. That's something you should be able to do. It's not that difficult to do that type of thing.
That's on the first one.
When we
Okay.
do, like, the autofill, if, like, for instance, I know how to do it more with the keyboard shortcut than the actual ribbon, that doesn't take points away, right?
No,
Like,
no,
okay.
not at all.
Gotcha.
Not at all. That, I think, I use the keyboard shortcuts all the time myself. I'm real comfortable with those. And of course, when I started working with computers,
That's old school.
there weren't, yeah, it was old school, and keyboard shortcuts were like, you know, anybody who was any good at it used the keyboard, because I worked with computers before there were mouses, you know? And so you had to be good at the keyboard, and then when the mouses came along, you know, you still use the keyboard for stuff, because it's second nature. And ribbons came along even after mouses, and so, you know, I learned how to use that stuff, but the first thing I used was the keyboard, of course. And I got really good at all those keyboard shortcuts and function keys and things like that.
But
So I
everything you
could
can
use-
do with the keyboard, you should be able to do
Of course.
off the ribbon.
That is correct.
Because my tutor was kind of
That is
confusing me. He was doing a combination of both, which was kind of throwing me off a little bit, but, okay.
Yeah, so everybody has the